boxes have just arrived from Preservation Equipment Limited, which is where I purchase all of the bits that I need for the archives here in the Muniment room, but also I purchased quite a bit for the Alberta American Heiress exhibition. Ooh, yes, great. Now, it's always fun to see what, oh, here we go. Now this is very exciting. It's not going to seem very exciting perhaps to you, but it is to me. Now I ordered some paperweights because I have some large like manuscripts, documents that need to be placed out onto a table, and these will hold them. In fact, I might show you one later. Okay, so I've got 4 of these. Oh, it's like Christmas. By the way, I just want to say thank you to so many of you who purchased through Buy Me a Coffee the virtual tour of our American Heiress AI exhibition. And because of your donations that continue to come in, I'm able to purchase more archiving materials and supplies. So this is all because of you. So I just want to say a huge thank you. Daryl, who helps me here in the Muniment room, we needed some more pens. So these are like proper sort of, quality pens that are good for archiving. Oh, yes. So I needed some more of these silica gel packets because usually I have my dehumidifier on, but I've just turned it off just to film. But these I stick in the safe over there, which I'll do in a second, and some of the storage cases that I haven't been able to get through yet, but just to make sure that they're absorbing any of sort of damp that's coming through. Now, got a couple of these because in the hall, which there are tours going on now, both Luke and I have our YouTube 100K awards, and they're just sort of sitting up against a wall, and I thought it'd be nice to put them on these. So that, and so for people to properly see. And then in here, there we go. We use a lot of these folders, and I'll show you in a second, but Daryl in particular, when we're organizing a lot of Alberta's letters, we need to organize them here. So this is, and also I can reuse this. This is an archive box, which can be reused. How great is that? Then lastly, I use these book ident strips, and I can show you an example here of what I want to replace. So for example, you can see that these are numbers. These correlate to a spreadsheet that Sally, who also helps here in the archive room, but she does more of, I think, the general sort of organization of what's in what boxes. Right now I'm working on a specific project. But you can see here that she's just been using paper because we didn't have this. So now what I'd like to do is just to be able to replace that paper with proper archive paper and label it that way. And Sally's coming in soon, so I can let her know about this. But these are fantastic. Go. Now this always gets me. There we go. Wait, hold on. There. That's it. Okay. Crikey. Right. So inside here, these definitely need to be replaced. I'm just going to take these out. And again, they just are able to draw any moisture. I'm just going to place these here. Here. This is where a lot of the photographs are and some really good documents. And one up there. Okay, excellent. Now, here we go. So this one is something that I'm thinking of possibly framing. It says it's a present from the author. I don't know who the author is. But this is where my paperweights come in. I mean, I'm so beyond happy. I'm going to put one on each corner, here and here. And then this one was given to the 4th Earl of Sandwich. It's very precious. It's probably around the 1760s. 70s. Now what this is again, present from the author, and it says the ground of application for an honorary degree by royal descent. So it's showing that the Sandwich line, this Montagu line, is related to the royal family. And you can see here, it's through King Edward I. Here's the royal family, and then linking it to the Montagu family here. And then moving it down, and I believe you can then get to, let's see, we're at 1729. There we go. John, 4th Earl, succeeded his grandfather Edward in the title. And then there is the 4th Earl's son, who is John, and that is who would then be called Viscount Hinchingbrook, and then John's son had a John, who was then said Viscount's eldest son. So it's showing where the line would continue, and it even says here, present family. I mean, it's unbelievable. It says these 7 were eminent men, and from John, the son, looks like, of Margaret, who was of royal blood. So, you know, back centuries ago, it was all about connecting yourself to the royal family, making sure you had royal blood in, and that's what this author created for the 4th Earl of Sandwich, a present family, to make sure that that connection was documented. And it looks like this was done in, about 1787. Is that right? Yeah, 1787. So lovely piece of document. Something that I probably want to frame, but I'd have to go to a really good framer. Beautiful document that we uncovered here in the Monument Room. It was stuffed in one of the chests, and lo and behold, I rolled it open very, very carefully and found this. I think it's absolutely magnificent. Really, really magnificent. So that is that. And then last thing I'm going to open are some more archive boxes for the court dress that the 8th Earl, I originally thought it was sort of military, but so many of you commented on YouTube and were like, no, it's a court dress. And I'm going to talk you through that because Jake, who watches our YouTube channel, sent me the most amazing email and literally described to me every single piece of kit that was in the case. And now I'm going to take that kit out. It has been wrapped in acid-free paper, that court kit out, and put it properly in archive boxes. But I'm going to talk you through what Jake sent to me. I think it's really important, and so many of you are interested like what it is, and Jake gave me such great explanations. So thank you to Jake. There is a tour going on right now, so I'm going to be super quiet. Whoops. Here's one. This one is Mapperton Live. There we go. That's all right. Kind of move the games over there. Do that one. And then this one is American Viscountess. There we go. Right. Let's look inside this chest here. Fantastic. Everything's still looking good. I don't know where to. This is going to become my storage room. I've decided. Now, okay, here we go. So, I've done some acid-free. I'll probably have to redo it once I get in there, but I won't bore you with that now. This is the exciting thing. So, Some background and history. These garments here, which you've seen before, and I'll unpack them now because I'm going to pack them up better, were originally designed by Henry Poole and Co. And the Lord Chamberlain set the standard for all court dress to follow their style. There were two styles. New style, which is cut in a more modern tailcoat style, and the old style, which was cut in an older pigeon-breasted style. The Earl's is done in the new style, which seemed to be the most popular. The point of this dress was to be worn at the royal court and invited by the sovereign to attend court. Since the Earl lived between 1839 and 1916, I mean, Jake did such good research. This is Edward VIII Earl, who never had children. It can be safely assumed this was most likely made for Victoria's court, but without seeing the bill of sale, it's unknown the true date. It could have also been for Edward VII. Regardless, this was worn in the presence of a sovereign. So I think it probably would have been, Edward VII, because they were such good mates. Now, he has given us identification of items found in the box, and he did it in order of appearance, filming on camera. He's done, let's look at the walking stick. So for now, I'm just going to place this in here so it's safe. So I think that this is the walking stick, perhaps military, a military swagger stick. I suspect that's that. A cut steel court sword. Cut steel court sword. Woo! Here we go. There we go. Cut steel court sword to go with the court uniform. Velvet court coat in the new style with cut steel buttons. Look at this. With cut steel buttons. The court shoes. Here we go. Indian military knife, scabbard, frog, and belt. Indian military knife. This is brilliant. Indian military knife. Okay. And then it's got the scabbard, frog, and belt. There we go. It's beautiful. There's no knife in there. And then there was the metal parts that I thought was a pipe are the metal scabbard mounts for the cut steel sword. Interesting. Rabbit fur court cocked hat. Maybe this is, so this must be rabbit fur on it. It's hard to see it on camera, but well done, Jake. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh, no. And in here is the rabbit fur. Oh, yes. Everywhere. It's beautiful. So this all needs to be properly preserved. Definitely, Jake has been hugely helpful. You guys are amazing with your comments. I'm going to wrap these in archives paper right now because I don't want these on display. And then there will come a time when I'm able, in particular, these court shoes, to properly polish them and use Jake's advice. You can see it has, there's like some paper. I'm not going to touch that right now because I don't want to damage anything. But I just think it's better to put this in archive paper in a textile box and then come back to it at a later time and polish it up. And so far, I don't think the wrinkles are too bad, but I'm going to stuff them with archive paper to de-wrinkle as much as I can, which is exactly what I did for the 18th century dresses. But how exciting. It's so exciting when I receive emails like this. So thank you, Jake, and thank you to so many of you who also left unbelievably kind messages trying to figure it out. I will show you a bit of the damage though on the sword, because we did mention that. And I think it just needs a little bit of stabilization there. You're never gonna get this back to what it was, but I think, storing it well is the way to preserve it for, again, future generations. It's a beautiful sword. Look at that. Look at this. Did I show this the last time? Look at the detail here. So definitely something that I will want to just clean up a bit. All right, everyone, I'm gonna get back to packing. These boxes usually take me a good hour. So here I go. Let's wrap them up.
So here we are visiting Percy. Percy, of course, is Mapperton's giant tortoise.
There he comes, he hears our voice.
He's a bit of a talisman, isn't he, Percy? And he's a sulcata tortoise. And he's been with us how many years, Raymond?
Roughly 14, 15.
What that? No, he hasn't been here. Oh, he's 14 or 15, but he's only been here since 2018,
Yeah,
I think,
2018.
which is about 6 years.
Yeah.
And Raymond, you're really you're kind of Percy's best friend, I'd say. How do you feel about that?
Did you know what those things are like are for underneath his chin?
What?
You see those like blades?
Yeah. That's for breaking out.
No, when we had a lovely old lady here one day, she knew all about them, and she said when they get angry, mate, they go for each other.
Yeah.
And the idea is to get that blade underneath your opponent's chin and hurt his head. And that's what that does.
Right. It's like a kind of built-in spear or sort of battering ram, isn't it?
Yeah.
Percy is a wonderful size. I mean, he's too big almost to pick up now.
He is heavy.
I don't know whether I can just about lift him. There we go.
Yeah.
Come up for your close-up, Percy. And his shell is in very good condition. You can always tell if these scutums, I think they're called, if it gets too sharp, that's what's called pyramiding. And here they're quite low down, and that means he's getting a good amount of calcium in his food.
We give him a little drop of calcium in
his feed, don't we?
Yeah.
Now, I heard yesterday, Raymond, that Percy nearly had a great escape. Raymond, look at him. He's so full of energy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Percy is part of Mapperton, and he's part of what we have, particularly for younger people who come. And we constructed this fantastic deluxe tortoise shed, which is where he lives, particularly in the winter. It's full of heating elements so that he keeps warm through the winter. And then the moment things warm up a little bit, he's out here enjoying himself. He's got his own bathing pond over there that is fed with rainwater off the top. And he did at one point have a friend.
Yeah.
But that didn't work out so well.
No,
one thing we've learned is that tortoises in the wild, they meet, they mate, they part again. And so actually keeping them together can actually cause more trouble than having them on their own. But I think he's actually thriving at Mapperton. And Raymond, you've developed a bit of a relationship with him, haven't you, over the years?
Well, in a nice way, yeah. I think he knows my voice.
Yeah, he's a bit of an old friend.
He doesn't say much, though.
What's he thinking, do you think?
But he's starting to get, the old fence is getting a bit bad now. Right. And Martin's been patching it up.
So this is the problem. So this fence was put in, and before we built this, we were told that tortoises can dig, and so we went down at least a foot with each of these posts.
Yeah.
But I don't think they were properly tannalised or something.
Well, I've never seen him dig anyway.
No, he doesn't dig, does he? But the posts are rotting. They shouldn't have rotted in this time, should they?
Well, they
have.
I expect the farmers say these tannalised posts don't last at all.
Don't last as long as they should. Because if you look over here, Raymond, we've got you can see what's going on.
Yeah.
And he's I imagine he's getting quite clever about this. He's working out that there are places where he can just burst out. Yesterday I had a frantic call from the cafe saying Percy has almost got through. and I think Lander came and put in some planks.
Yeah,
But we've got to rebuild this, haven't we?
you have.
What's your suggestion?
Well, I wouldn't. I would suggest not build it like this configuration. Do it more like that with they're what we call the dung boards. They're dung boards.
Right.
And just put some posts in and put some horizontal.
Why are they called dung boards?
Well, the farmers use them
Right.
for keeping,
Keeping the dung in.
yeah, in their shed.
Well, if they can hold dung, I guess they can
Yeah.
probably hold. And you can see actually that's lasted much better, hasn't it,
Yeah,
than these uprights.
and it's a bit more sort of friendly too, looking at it.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, it's a bit more in keeping. It's good to see him doing so well. He's created a bit of a sort of perimeter.
Yeah,
hasn't
he walks all the way around.
where
and round
he's
and
got
round.
he's got his sort of running track, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Where he heads off. But all right, well let's have a think about those boards. And that's actually probably an easier fencing job, isn't it? Because you just put some stakes
Yeah,
and so you have post and rail, and then you just got the boards along the bottom.
That's it.
And he's not going to dig under, we've discovered,
No.
haven't we? So
well, the thing is, if you just cut these off at ground level, the concrete can stay there
right,
that they were in. He won't dig through that. And perhaps-
right, because there's a concrete
yeah, and perhaps
supports, aren't there?
put the post in this side
Yeah,
into the ground.
right. Well, that's a job to be done, isn't it?
Yeah, soon.
Yeah. Right, Raymond, let's go and have a look at some potholes. So one of the things that we have to cope with at Mapperton, and one of the things that Raymond helps us with, are potholes. And these keep appearing, mostly when we've had a lot of rain. But Raymond, you've had a bit of time to fill in a few holes
Yeah,
recently.
we filled in a few here, one or two there, and I'll bring down some more gravel.
What have you used for this then?
Mac said use some self-binding gravel, which
Is that this stuff here?
yeah. If you bind it, it'll go hard.
So once it gets a bit of water and cars go over it,
yeah.
it starts hardening.
I have rammed it down.
Yeah, yeah. It just needs some more vehicles going over
Yeah.
it. Yeah. And what's your general assessment of the pothole situation
Well,
at
we're
Mapperton at the moment?
we're on top of them now. We're probably more on top than the highways are with their roads.
I think we're way ahead of the regular council highways and their potholes.
Now I'm on the wanted list. We put these on because they had a bad edge to trip edge, so
Right.
done those couple.
And that's got a bit of self-binding
Yeah.
material in it.
We had
as
a
well.
load of chips this morning. They wouldn't go in, so got to wait to burn a few off and then.
Now I've spotted something here, which is a work in progress,
Yeah,
isn't it?
we're repairing those gates.
But it's a rather wonderful work in progress. These are the gates at the front of the house that go on the gate pillars and sit in between the eagles.
Yeah.
And Raymond, you've known these for a while, haven't you? I expect it's not the first time you've.
No,
You've
not the
had
first
to-
time we tinkered around with them. but-
What's the plan this time?
Well, that one's nearly finished there. Just got
So
to
you've
trim
done-
the top off,
You've done one.
sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about? Because some people say to us, "Gosh, get rid of all the old timber and just put in new frames." But I think we like patina, we like texture here,
Yeah.
don't we?
And I think also, people like to try and save as much old timber as you can.
Even if it is a bit rotten,
Well,
it
Yeah.
brings with it the story
Yeah.
of the place, doesn't
that
it?
piece that you've got on that top rail, we're going to save that.
You're going to save this piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
That bit might be a bit gone.
yeah, that's the bottom rail of it. This is
Yeah.
the locking rail, and that's the
Right.
waist rail that goes
Right.
in that way, which
Right.
is that one.
Right. So this section will mostly stay,
Yeah.
and you'll probably rebuild much of the bottom.
Yeah.
And look at this wonderful old ironwork,
Yeah.
which all of which just needs a repaint, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's all.
And that will be fine. And then eventually the gates will go back. There's no
Yeah.
particular rush, I don't think. Anyway, we're outside the biomass here. This is the building that gives us all our heat at Mapperton, both the hot water and the heating. And it's a lovely place to come in the winter because it's always warm. But Raymond, it hasn't been behaving recently?
No, we had a bit of a shutdown with it. We had some chips in the back, which is they come from next door into that section, and there's a rotary valve at the bottom whereby.
So this biomass boiler is, its fuel is the wood chip that is stored next door, and the wood chip has to get in to the whole boiler system, and it does it on an auger, which is a bit like a propeller. It turns round and it transports the chip through into the back and then into the system here. But sometimes, because there are so many mechanical parts, things go wrong. So what went wrong with this one, Raymond?
Well, that one, the auger itself had a bit of stuff, a bit of bigger chip around it, and that got stuck.
Right.
And that sensors off other things on here.
And what did you have to do?
Oh, Gary came here, and he knows how to get it out with the boiler running. Right. But he won't let me do it.
He won't let you do it. No. Well, that's probably a good thing for your fingers. I'd imagine.
Well, he's not a fingers. He's a long way away from his fingers.
Is it?
But
okay.
He knows the knack of what to do.
All right, we leave it to the pros.
He's a real engineer.
So when the boiler has heated the water, it goes into this enormous tank here, and then it gets pumped around what's called a district main, and that district main feeds the different houses, feeds the main house, feeds the old rectory, feeds garden cottage, feeds the conservatory. It's used for lots of things. But this is just full of hot water, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Let's just have a quick look at the chip store, which I find extraordinary. We get a delivery of chip roughly once every week to 2 weeks.
We're up to 18 days now.
Is it 18 days because it's the summer?
Yeah.
And the chip is either blown into here through a big pipe, or it's poured into what's called the chip shifter, which then brings it up in here. We've got a lot of chip at the moment, haven't we?
You just had a new delivery today, but it wouldn't take the last bit.
It's got a good smell. That's
a lot of ash in there.
Is it ash in there?
Ash.
Look at that. That is what's giving us our cups of tea.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. There's 38 cube in there this morning.
38 cubic metres.
Yeah. About 7.5.
Fantastic.
7.5 tons.
Right.
And that'll be
good. Well, she's served us well, and long may.
Yeah, Gary said it would go on for a long time.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, that would be good to know.
Because we look after it.
Raymond, thank you.
That's all right. Pleasure.
With all that talk of a cup of tea, I think I'm going to go get one.